prepare for. I thought maybe she sent this to this person, and this person said she. And tell me. We are family. We are talking. We are talking.
Praise the Lord. Move here so that.
Oh my God.
So, can I drink by some? I have drinks here, Mama.
Thank you.
I'm supposed to buy something, but I'm sorry, my car was doing car. So, yesterday, this morning, you talk your own talk first.
No, I talk. I don't get any talk right now.
Okay. So, I was reading something. Somebody sent something on Facebook about domestic violence. Even though we were going to talk about something else, I just thought it's something we can talk about, and so our people can see also. The story was that the guy got married to the woman 2018 and had been beating her since. She was pregnant, 9 months old pregnancy, and she beat her up 3 weeks ago.
He beat her up.
He beat her up 3 weeks ago, and then the parents took her back some few days after. Okay, you saw it.
I'm following the story.
So he actually killed her.
Oh my Jesus.
2 days ago.
Oh Lord have mercy.
That beating again. 9-month pregnancy.
Oh Lord have
beating.
mercy.
So that's why I just thought it's something that
mercy.
should be discussed. Because I know this thing we go to Africa to dwells to it. So what can we say about this thing?
Wait, sorry, ma. The husband beat her.
And
Our
she
mother,
died.
our own mother took her back to the husband's
Yeah,
house.
she ran to the parents' house, and they said, "Oh, because the woman's mouth is always running, so she should beg him." So she knelt down and begged him, and he agreed that she should come back. And then 2 days ago, beat her to death.
Parents will regret it.
Yes.
That similar incident has happened to one of my friends, her daughter, in Onitsha. So it really happened that the girl, they are called Christians. So, and the girl is born again, very good child, because I taught her in secondary school. So before she got married. And this man was beating this girl. So she came home and told the parent that she had about 3 boys for the man. And she came home crying that she is not going back to
the
they
man's
live in
house.
Lagos. She's not going back to the man again.
Yeah.
But we say we because I'm also involved. We Christian, particularly born again families. The mother is a deaconess in the church, the father is an elder. How can your child got married
And
come back home? And you keep no. We don't believe in marrying and remarrying or divorce.
Yeah.
So they insisted. We also encourage just be praying for the man, and we talk to the man. There's nothing easy on God. You know what God has. There's nothing you can do. The only thing, if you know what you do, that stop it. Don't talk, don't reply. Whatever he says, don't obey him. That sort of thing. And this girl, after a while, she now agreed to go back. She now went back. When she went back to Lagos to meet the man, it didn't take up to a month. The man killed her.
Hey.
He beat her again.
To death.
The neighbors rushed her to the hospital. Before the parents, any of the member of the family could get there, she's dead. We know that. So up to today, the church, this thing started changing. When we remember, instead of my daughter to die, it's better no matter how. You take the child alive, let her be alive.
Yes.
It is only shame people will talk. There is no doubt.
No doubt.
Our culture. They will talk, they will make fun of you, they will, but God knows. So it's a really mistake that people keep making that mistake. Even I am myself saying this. I have a daughter that the husband beats her like that. She's my third daughter. But second to the last, my last born. She has had 3 children with the husband. But this man, and the man is, fortunately or unfortunately, the man is he's a professor in medicine. Both of them are lecturers in University of Nigeria in Nsukka. They are teaching there. Both my daughter and the husband. The husband is a consultant, a big man, very no, you know, but his problem is his
Anger.
not anger and womanizer. So, despite the fact that he's a very prominent man in their church and so on, but still he's a womanizer. And if you see the way he's treating this my daughter, to the extent that the neighbors and the town people, the man's family, they started sending me text messages that you better come and take this girl or let
Before
this
he kills her.
man kill, not people were. I called my daughter will be crying and crying. I said, let's pray. And mommy won't be like it. I said, I don't believe in this marriage and the father or divorce, so let's inquire from the Lord and see to know what the Lord will say. So, but I told her that just
I'll have one now, later.
my advice to her is that
Thank
you know the law, you are born
you.
again.
Mommy, you want? No? Okay.
Just obey the law, stick on the law, hold fast on the law, be prayerful always, and let the Holy Spirit be directing you. Obey your husband in all things. That is what the Bible says. This is my advice every day, every morning. Did you pray today? Just commit him to the Lord, surrender to the Lord, obey and listen to the Holy Spirit. Anytime, whatever the Spirit of God tells you to do it. If you be obedient to the Holy Spirit, you find out that the man cannot get you to beat you. He will not just get up and come and bounce on, even if he's strong. And if he's strong, that the Holy Spirit will let you know. This is what I tell her almost every day. I say, the Holy Spirit will give you that information. You will know, so that you will, and we also direct you on what to do. The Lord will advise you. I know the God that I serve, that she should always be attentive, be sober, be attentive to the Spirit of the living God. Our God knows what you are going through. If God wants to take you away from that man, separate, He knows He will do it. And I believe that. I said, I am not yet convinced. The Spirit of God has not put into my mind that you should leave. You don't leave. Don't leave. And we have been, as I said, we've been praying about it. I know that really the Lord is doing His work. The man, so far, he has not beaten her for how many months now? So, and the last time he beat her to the extent that my daughter, according to what they said, fainted, and he picked her up and went to the hospital near there and dumped her there. The next day, he went back to the hospital and told the doctor to discharge her. The doctor said, how can I discharge this girl with all the bruises? Look at her eyes swollen up and so on.
So the doctor even has the guts to be talking to the man instead of him to bring police and catch the man.
They are his colleague. He is a consultant. He's a doctor, a medical doctor, to the extent that he has risen to consultant level and a professor in the university.
The man that is beating his wife.
Yes, that is my son-in-law. So to the extent that the doctor said, how can I discharge this girl? She said, do you know why he told him to? He didn't want to pay. He didn't want to, because of the bill he's going to pay. He's not interested about the. He regretted taking her to the hospital. He would have left him there and tell lies. He tells a lot of lies. And he will frame one thing to the extent that the doctor said, no, I'm not going to discharge her. That I will, if I'll be called for to answer, it is against their
ethic.
ethic. So at least he will give her treatment for the pains and bruises all over her body before she will discharge. Today then I told her to tell the doctor that she wants to go for an X-ray, at least to X-ray her and make sure that nothing is, no internal injury, hemorrhage and that sort of thing, and no bone is broken. So they went for X-ray, they said there is nothing, no bone, we didn't affect her bone or anything.
I hope that woman did not go back to that man with all these stories.
Still there.
Listen, I prayed, I interceded. The Lord said she should go back. In fact, I was led. I told her, you are going back. She cried, say yes, you are going back. So,
But sorry man, no vex man. Why was the man beating her? I don't know. Why?
Because she has other women, and if she complains,
no,
she gets in
what
trouble. I think that is it.
what caused the man? I don't know. In fact, I heard that the man didn't want her again. The man wants her to go to take the other mistress. That one particular, they said there's one particular colleague of his. He's they are all medical doctors. That lady wants that every day he's always in her house, and two of them goes for medical outreach and so on. People are complaining about that. Then my daughter didn't care. She didn't want to until this time. She wanted to leave. I told her, no, don't do that. The Lord, I am not led and convinced that you should leave. Wait. But what I will, because what led to that particular incident that made the man to start beating her that very day, to the extent that the man wanted to kill her, was that, according to her, the man will not allow her. He was every manner of brutality, maltreatment to make her. The man didn't want to himself to throw her out or tell her to go. He wants to frustrate her to make sure that she lives by herself. Then I told her not to live by yourself. So he doesn't give her no money for food. The man doesn't buy food. Instead, he will give money to the girlfriend. The girl will cook, and at times they bring the food for her in the house. Her 3 kids to pay school fees. My daughter was suffering. I said, let's keep going. There's nothing God can do. So that very point in time, according to her, she took her phone to go to church in the living room. She said, we want her not to ever charge sockets, her phone, or anything. Use any of the charger, any of the sockets in the living room. So she went into the bedroom and socket her phone. So the husband came into the room and removed the socket, the phone, and removed it from the socket and put his phone. So when she now came out, I said, say, what? You told me all the sockets in the living room where you are were there. You said I should not use them again. This one, this the only socket. Why do you remove my phone? Will I not? Hey, that's all. And she made the mistake of removing that phone to put her own. That's the man just bounced on her. And that is said. As he was punching, beating her, one of the boys that were there started crying and pleading with the man, his brother, the brother to the husband, was crying, begging the husband to leave her, not that he will kill her. Then the man didn't agree. He now picked the phone and started videoing it. The moment he saw that the boy was videoing them, she now stopped. He stopped beating her and bounced on the boy, snatched the phone from him and break the phone, and break the phone. That's the only thing that saved her. he would have killed her that instantly. So people were saying, what? Everybody was. So you leave your child to die. Why do you? See, I'm not meant to help tell her to live.
But in this instance, ma, sorry, ma, we can separate the wife from the husband. She can be in your house. I know you are not led. She can be in your house while you pray. You know, you understand what I'm saying, right?
I do.
Like me, I will not go back to that house.
Listen, right? The thing is that if I'm in Nigeria, of course, you know, that very day he beats her, the first and not it, she will not stay till that very day, till up to that. But the fact is that I am not at home. Where is she going to? Nobody.
Oh, she doesn't
oh
have
my
it.
God. Where is she going to? I say, my God. If it just, I just felt like taking a flight overnight and jump to Nigeria to pick her up, but I can't do that. I cried throughout that. I cried. I talked to God, and as God will have it, God really intervened because his brothers, that is my relatives there, one of his cousins that lives in that thing, you know, where they live, just took it upon himself. He challenged the husband, and he gathered some boys, and they went to beat him up. So when they lay hold, it was my daughter that was crying, please, because you know they will kill him if they beat him.
Mm-hmm.
So she started crying and held on that, knelt down, begging them, please, don't touch him. So they now leave. They have grabbed him and shake him. He was shouting that my daughter hired assassin to come and kill him. He ran away for 2 days.
So for him to explain torture too.
They didn't talk. I say, hi. They would have just one slap, just one.
Just one.
So
The kind of slap that one
that
the left
will
will turn to right.
That will reset his
he
brain.
deserved
not to
one
touch
slap,
a
just
woman.
one, not to beat him. Just they would. I told my daughter, you would have allowed them to give him just one
for
slap.
him to experience
The moment they just one slap. If they wanted to do another, then you rush and beg them.
They don't even touch
But
him.
you didn't allow them to touch him. I said, anyway, he's lucky.
Love, it's love. This kind love.
He's lucky. So, my dear, I've gotten that experience. So, but to God be the glory. Since up till now, he has not attempted beating her.
Because life and death flashed in his eyes.
Yeah,
He saw them that they came to, you know. I didn't mean nobody came for her. The man will continue. This woman that died, I didn't mean somebody did what they did to
This man.
your daughter. I don't think the man will have the guts to go back, you know.
Beat him to that extent.
Helpless woman, 9 months old pregnant.
Yeah, beat her during
Helpless.
pregnancy
People
until she died.
Helpless woman.
You see, my take on that is that God will help us. I seriously am against divorce. That is, the Bible says so. But nothing says you cannot run for your dear life.
Exactly.
Leave, Leave, so that you can Live. It's not divorce.
life first.
Yes, if a man beats a girl once, oh, it's a mistake, he was angry. We will try everything to make sure you don't do it again. If you beat your wife number 2, day 2, you know, even if it is only you just slap, why? You will have to go for anger. Oh. As far as I'm concerned, if, God forbid, my own child, you will go to anger management. After they tell me there you pass, we will try number 3 day. Because if you go and pay for anger management, you know they would have told you. Because it is so rampant, even in Nigeria now, man. If the police get to hear that you beat your wife, you go into jail.
Now?
Yes, now.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus.
I told my daughter to go and report to the welfare.
Yes.
So that She went there. The man came, he denied. He said, how can I touch her? No, I didn't beat
It
her.
is when
I
all
never
those things
touched
are
her."
still
She
there.
should have taken
Yes.
picture of herself. Take
She-
picture.
because-
You need proof.
Mhm.
For people like that.
I was watching this justice court in Nigeria. When the woman went to the court and was complaining that the man was beating her, the judge said it is because that wasn't the reason she came, that she's leaving the man alone. That if you beat your wife, domestic violence in Nigeria, you go to jail. No story. That is only because women don't go
That
to
is
report.
why.
If you go,
Mhm.
you know what they will say? Hey, he called police for his husband. This woman, hey, you become the worst.
Mommy,
Yeah.
life don't change. Oh. Now they have women that are fighting for women.
Women, yes.
All the celebrities, they have them
In Nigeria.
in Nigeria that are fighting for women. And so that one.
I don't know if it's an issue to be discussed.
Well,
I mean, what is wrong is wrong. What is right is
Right.
right.
yes,
For
it's to
me,
be
it's
discussed.
not-
The reason we are discussing it is,
You know,
you know,
like,
there are violence, there is abuse, different kinds of abuse. The only one we are talking about right now is somebody beating someone. There are so
Emotional.
many kind of abuse,
Emotional.
emotional abuse, even words.
worse.
You will say things to
Right.
somebody that the person will want to go and die.
Kill herself.
So, if you are experiencing abuse as a woman, seek help. Seek
Okay.
help.
Let me ask this question. What about if a man is not beating the wife? They are living together, and the man bluntly decide not to be doing anything. You know his role, like giving money to the wife or buying food stuff. That he doesn't buy food, so he doesn't give the wife take book, and he will not even pay the school fees for the children.
Is the woman working?
The woman is working.
Then she, you know, there are two ways to deal with such things, man. Number one, if you are working, you are able to do what you can do what you can do, and assume he is dead. If he is dead, you will take care of your home. Assume is that is. I know you can answer that question for us, man. I brought this up because, you know, sometimes you hear certain things, you say, oh, it's happened to them. You will know that someone close home
He's suffering
might
the
be
same.
suffering that problem. And our group is women group. When we groom ourselves, we tell, especially the young ones, that don't let anybody kill you. The man will not help at all. Okay, doesn't want to help, you can do it. But he will not tell me. Somebody said yesterday on the platform live that the man will not help. He went to buy a dog. So he said, hey, abeg, carry dog back to where you brought it from. Don't add to my job. You know, you can avoid what is avoidable. Because if we women keep allowing ourselves to be boxing ring, or what do they call it? Punching bags. That is what I was talking yesterday. I think it was me and my husband, that boy in their home, the parents teach them, they cook, they do everything. The day they get married, they forget how to boil rice. They will get home and say, where is my food? You are so stupid, how come my food is not ready? This is the guy that will take the woman out when they were going out to but to eat outside all the time. Suddenly they became the boss, the director. Nobody is saying don't be director, but the way you can make home work, you can both. Marriage is not something you endure. You should both enjoy it. And if you are making the other person sad, you can't be happy either. Because for you to be able to make somebody frown, you have to be frowning. So it means it takes two to tango. The guy that killed his wife, let's say they didn't catch him, he will be hiding right now, running from one place to the other. So why would one make his or her life miserable like that? When you have issue of anger, my own take with what mommy just said about the daughter is that at least the woman should let this man go and look for help. He has mental issue. He should get help. It takes somebody who is crazy to be beating himself. The Bible says the two shall become one. So if you are beating your wife, you are beating yourself. You understand what I mean?
And it's the only person that has mental issues that will be flogging himself.
Yeah. The only place in the Bible we saw such a thing was the madman of Gadara, who was hurting himself because he was crazy.
It was crazy.
The moment he was healed, he didn't do that again. So it means a man that beats his wife is crazy.
It's not normal.
Yes. So if there is abuse, there are some abuse one can still like, okay,
Manage.
let me manage, let me ignore. I can't pay school fees, look for help. There are people that you can go to that can help. Some men don't even believe in their pastor. They go to church, nobody can talk to them. That's why before you get married, make sure this man has somebody that he listens to. At least one person that will say Otito, and that will be it. But if a man does not listen to anybody and you go and marry him, who will he really listen to? A child with somebody who's the husband I used to know killed his mom because he was angry. He didn't want to kill his mom. He was fighting his brother, and the mom came and held him, and he just flung the mom. Mom banged head on wall, slumped, died.
Oh. Hey.
He had anger issues. So when he starts getting angry, you heard the story. You didn't ask him, did he get help? So what I'm saying, the Bible tells us in the book of 1 Peter 3, verse 7 says, likewise ye husband, dwell with them according to knowledge. Dwell with your wife according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto weaker vessel. We all know that apart from it is only mouth that women will say what a man can do, women can do better. There are things men can carry, you cannot carry. With your wisdom, yes. With your physical power. So that's why the judge in the court I'm saying is always telling the man, why are you beating your wife? Why don't you go and face this one?
Exactly.
The man will shake his head, because he's a man like you. So it is very, very wrong. It is not what anybody should let continue to happen to you. And if your child runs to you, don't drive the child back. Find solution before taking the child back to death. Also, we women have to watch our tongue also. Because I remember it was you, Baba Deboye, that told us the story of the woman that ran to herbalist that my husband is always beating me. The man gave her his tooth. And said every time the man start fighting, put it in your mouth. And the thing is, when you eat in your mouth, you cannot talk. You must never talk.
Don't let it drop.
Don't let it drop. And the thing was in her mouth, and every time she would quickly go and put it. And she came and said, Baba, after a year, that was so beautiful. Your charm was powerful. The man said, I didn't give you charm. It's only ordinary stone. It's your mouth. It's your mouth that was killing you before. So watch your mouth. So because sometimes I know someone that the husband will beat her until she will stop talking. Because you will be hearing your father, that's how your father did that, your great grandfather. The man didn't like talking, but he had punch.
What I was saying that there is no risk, normal human being that is a man that will ever raise his hand on his wife. That if you ever see a woman or a man or two couples that a man is beating the wife, know that is an expression of persistent. How did he put it? He said, not just anger. That the man has been enduring. It is the outburst of overflow, decades of endurance and passion. When he cannot take it again, then that is what you see in that beating or slapping or praising his
So
son.
does that mean
That the man doesn't talk, but the man has been suffering or being tortured by the woman. That the woman has been abusing. He called it abuse. He said that the woman has been abusing that man for a very long time, and he has been enduring it. That when you ever see him raise his hand, this is just too much. Stop.
It's weakness.
He
A
said
man's
stop.
weakness. Any man that beats his wife is a weak man.
But the thing is that he's saying that to defend me. I said, it's not true, sir, to everybody. To some it's true.
Because,
Because there are women that can walk.
yes.
So,
I can't say,
You're welcome.
welcome.
So, let's come and sit there so we can see you on the video. So, like we are saying, yes, mommy, it is true a lot of percentage, but a lot of percentage, some men are just impossible. There is nothing you can do, especially the moment a man starts going out.
Yes.
The moment a man starts going out, seeing another woman, there is nothing the wife in the house can do anymore. So then it could be because he wants the woman to just leave the house. Then sometimes some women don't talk, but action.
Yes.
You know, you have a wife, you are always telling the same thing every day. This your clothes you are wearing, I don't like it. This your clothes you are wearing, is it your own? Did I buy with your money? What's your business? And the man will be looking. You didn't do dishes. Your aunt is paying you too. She didn't make noise, so you don't want to, no. We're not love her. You can make the man wash the dishes without saying things like that. And it is not everybody, like some men, they can calm themselves down and walk away. Some men don't know. Maybe from their home they say daddy beats mommy. I watched the movie when the man was complaining bitterly that the only thing this woman does that I don't like is that she will never wake up in the morning and kneel down to greet me. My mom always kneel down for my dad. Culture.
Is it not stupidity?
That is it. So if we as people of today, like I was thinking, I said, look, we are always telling women how to be calm, how to be good. How are we going to reach men? Because
men are built up to themselves.
yes,
They never tell themselves the truth.
they never, only few of them.
It's only your father that is reasonable will tell you. But
Because if
men
you start
don't-
telling them, they start saying, you stuff I don't know. But the thing
They
is,
say you woman rapper.
yes, but the fact remains that we have to reach men too. We have to talk to men to know that women are not punching bags. Women are not as strong as them. Women cannot work as much. The way God made it is that, okay, man, take care of your home. And if the man put the responsibility on the woman to do, that's abuse.
That's abuse.
That's abuse, financial abuse. I begin that way.
Okay, since we are talking about abuse, let's just talk about the 6 types of
Abuse.
abuse.
Okay.
So physical, I'll just read it out. This is the type of abuse that many people think of when they hear the word abuse. It can include punching, hitting, slapping, kicking, strangling, or physically restraining a partner against their will. when you restrain somebody against their will,
Mhm.
when you deprive somebody of what the person is entitled for, right?
Oh, you want to have sex. I'm tired. You say, you're tired. You know that kind of thing. You can't be tired. Get up. That's rape. Husband can rape wife.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So we have sexual.
That's the one I just said.
Jump the gun.
Or giving her money for food, you know,
Providing
because you are not, you will not.
And you stopped. And you know that she doesn't have any means. Maybe she's a full housewife. Yeah.
You are the one that say don't work.
Why sexual abuse can be a form of physical abuse too. You know, when you inflict pain on somebody, you know, anything you inflict pain on, you know, forcing them and all that. We put it in a category whereby itself, because it can include both physical and non-physical compartment. It can also involve rape or other forced sexual act, or withdrawal, or using sex as a weapon. An abusive partner might
Wait, using sex as a weapon. That one is telling the person, because you did not do this, I'm not going to give you this.
Because you did not
women that uses that.
That's a lot.
Most of the time, absolutely.
Yes.
Or because you, mostly is the women truly. Because I asked you for that money to buy that Brazilian hair and you did not give me, nothing for you tonight.
That's abuse.
That is abuse.
Okay.
Okay, where was I? Okay, an abusive partner can also be sex as okay. Alright, let's go to verbal / emotional. As one survivor put it, my ex-husband used words like weapons, like shards of glass. Can you imagine that the words her husband uses is like shards of glass to her heart, cutting and slowly draining my life until I had and this kind of abuse, you know, will lead somebody to suicide. We saw this beautiful lady that just died, Miss Chicago, or Miss whatever. You know, just because of she was her own was cyber bullying. She was bullied. They said she was not too pretty. Her face was not too pretty for her to be Miss America or whatever. You know. So, but and again, it was through that lady I got to know that there's something like walking to suicide or something like that. Walking, I've forgotten the name that they put it. That you can be smiling, you can be smiling, you can put all your emotions in your work, whereas you are depressed. You are walking depression. Walking depression. That you can be in church and be doing all the work, be smiling, you dance even more than everybody, but you are depressed. So they said she had that. So so because people were just like, this lady, like, she's always happy because she's a journalist, and she's a lawyer. At the age of 25, she has achieved what most girls her age they've not achieved. She's always smiling, she's always doing this, she's always helping people, you know, but she was depressed. So they said of killing herself, you know. So that is verbal. So I had begun to believe in an harmful lies. You know, at times again, partners, they lie to them that, oh, you can never amount to nothing.
Yes.
You can never do this. You are so useless. You can never do anything.
Anybody will see you. You second
Right.
call
Right.
them
Is
names.
it because I am?
I'm just managing you.
Manage you. I'm the only one that can marry you. I'm the only one that can do this.
I'm
You know.
enduring.
Oh my God.
I have
So
people that
see,
are
the
better than
food you
you.
cook is worse than if
That she said abuse are harder to spot and harder to prove. Emotional scars can often take longer to heal. Emotional scars. So abuse can put a scar in your heart. This one is mental stroke, physical, mental or psychological abuse happens when one partner, through a series of action or words, wears away at the other sense of mental well-being. Because this person is you know, maybe this person has these issues. Maybe the person has bipolar. You are using that. You capitalize on that, on the person's, you know, and use it against the person by calling the person names. Because there's this lady that that she's been. I saw it in the news that she's been with her boyfriend. She was an actress. She's been with her boyfriend for like 7 years. And there was a day that the man called her creepy, and that was it. Like as in she was getting well, but as soon as the man called her creepy, it triggered everything. You know, so it destroyed her. That even right now they are both saying that that her friends should go and be checking on her so that she doesn't kill herself. Just one word, cripple. Nobody wants to be called cripple. Nobody wants to be called cripple. You're a cripple. You understand what I mean? So there are webbing and all that. So we from the first story. So let's talk about financial. Because abuse is about power and control. An abuser will use any means necessary to maintain that control, and often that includes finance, whether it is controlling all the budgeting in the household and not letting the survivor have access to their own bank account, or spending money. Recently I heard when a lady said, somebody said our best friend, true life story, our best friend will work and give it to her husband. Like even the husband that will be counting money to give her, they take this one, go buy pants, go buy it. You are working. The husband will take everything.
You must
You bring the check home. You can't even pay it to your account.
You won't open it.
They said the husband sees the alert, right? The alert even before her. So the man knows everything. The man will not give her money. Say take this one for this thing.
If he wants.
That's
Oh
if
my
you
God.
want to. Somebody here in America, in America, here,
But that is abuse.
to give the woman
because for her to be
$100
complaining,
for
for her
the
to be
month.
complaining to her
Not
friends,
only
I don't
that,
know.
to take bus to work where she work and
Yes.
earn that money. The man will not give her money for bus, for transport.
So
And she will be crying,
So-
begging the man.
So are we going to say that is family dynamics? That is not family.
That's not family dynamics.
It's abuse.
Yes, it is abuse, but
We will. When you finish,
Some people
I
do
want
that.
you to please talk to us. Please, I want you to please.
Some men,
We can save lives. You know, man.
some men doesn't know. There are some men that they can give you everything, but the moment they see money in your hand, that is when they are broke. Until your money is finished.
Yeah. Yes, they'll tell you they are
No,
broke.
it's
That's
true.
when they will be
Finish-
broke.
they
Can
finish
you
the
pay
money
the
you
house
have.
rent? Hey, can you pay the light? Can you pay the bills? Can you?
Until you don't have money
when the
anymore.
money is finished, then they will now bring their own money out. But for them to just take out their eyes away from your own money so that you
No.
can save it for rainy season, they won't.
Somebody told me that if the woman gets money, she will be, she will like to become the boss. And her head will swell. So that if you want to control your wife, if you want your wife to be submissive,
Make her
to
broke.
you, so make sure that she
Kobo
doesn't
not
keep
behind.
because that's the only thing that will make her to beg. So whatever you tell her to do, she will.
Yeah,
So
this is
this is their belief.
The sixth one says cultural. Cultural abuse happens when abuser use aspect culture.
I'm an African man.
I'm an African man. I'm the head.
Yeah, I'm the head.
I don't have to do this. You expect me to.
The Bible says.
Hey,
They will tell you the Bible says.
hey.
The Bible
You
says,
must
Obey your
You must
husband
obey.
in all things.
Nothing.
the
But
Bible
they
says,
do not say the second part
second
that
part.
you should love.
Daddy, Mommy, the Bible says it's even easier. Every lady knows about the Bible says now. Man are not using the Bible says anymore.
What did they use?
If you are working one shift, maybe you are working like 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, and you come back home, and you forget that you are taking care of kids. You forget that everything that I have to run in the house you are doing. When they come back, they tell you, I've been working since morning. I'm the one that is bringing money home. Make food. Do this. I've been working since morning. But they forget that they have kids that this woman is taking care of. They forget about other activities that you have. Maybe that day, that woman has been driving all around
If food
because of what you
Right.
have, the list you have given
you
her
have given her.
to do. Go and do this to pay bill to PSNG. Make sure you get this one out. Make sure you get that. And when the lady comes back, she's tired. But with that,
What have you been doing?
What have
what
you
have you
doing?
been doing? You have been, you
Nothing.
have not doing
Nothing.
anything.
Look at the house, look at the floor, look at it, and they've forgotten that, and they'll say, oh, and again, the kids went to school.
Yeah.
That they'll add that one. They've forgotten that, oh, the man will say, do this, do that. And the only time you can do that is when the kids, when they leave for school, right?
Yes.
You're going to run this, you're going to run that, you're going to run that. And you're going to
You're on the
come
road.
back home again to make sure that when they get back,
The food is ready.
lunch is ready, dinner is ready. They've forgotten that. I heard
you
I
are
heard the
sick.
story.
You are sick. They don't want you to be sick. They
I
want
know
to
you
still
are.
get
Not
up
be
and
sick.
still do everything.
That one is still another one. They don't want you to be sick. You have to be the macho woman.
Yes.
Because, you know, you can
When
have
they
sick.
are sick, you are saying, no, my husband.
Mm.
When the woman is sick, you have to. Then who will do the?
Who will do it?
Then who will do the?
Recently I heard of a lady. I think she has like maybe she has like 4 kids, and so the husband is the one that does the, you know, they are, according to my sister here, family dynamics. You go, I'll go, the man will go to work. Why I want you to raise my kids? I don't want nanny. I don't want, you know, four kids. You know, I since they get back to their kids back to back. So that, you know, that means even if she's working, that means they'll be working for
The nanny.
the nanny. So okay, they said, okay, you husband go do the job, me the woman. So because of that, whenever this man he has forgotten that this woman has 4 kids. She said at times it's even a struggle for her to go make her hair. She said every time this man will come down, what have you been doing since morning? What have you been shaking it on? What have you been doing? No food, no this, no that. And his job is 8 hours. This woman, her job is 24 hours round the clock. So they said this man was abusing this woman emotionally, as in all day. That this day the woman just said, you know what, I'm just going to take, and it seems she has like maybe she has like 18 months old, and she has like maybe 3 or 4 years. So she took those 2, and she left the others that they know that at least they can do some stuff for themselves. They said she left the house. She left the house, not leaving that I'm going to divorce you, but I want to torture you. Let me see how you're going to handle this too with the job you have. She left the house, so she made sure that as soon as she saw the man's car, so she just left. So at least you know that her kids are safe. The man is in the house. So she left. She didn't tell. So they said she shot her phone. She shut down her phone, her car. As in, the man did not know anything about her. So she left. So she went to one hotel and she stayed there for 2 days. They said this man almost went mad. So this man went to the. He said, so this is what this woman has been. He couldn't go to work. You know, he did not even know how to bathe the children. He did not even know he not even know where the salt is. He did not even know where their stockings are. He don't know. They said for 2 days. They said when did they
They come back.
so it is only one person that knows the whereabouts of that woman, because she will, you know, she'll be giving the person feedback. I'm in this place, I'm in that place. Can you please, what's going on? Call my husband, see what's going on with the kids and all that. So because of how that one was doing, so the man knew that, because the man is a very intelligent man. He knew that this person knows exactly where my wife is. So he said he told this man that, tell my wife that when she comes back, I will never
Ask what she's been doing.
ask what she has been doing again. That I will never ask what she has been doing again. Please tell her to come home. That if I do what I've been doing before, she should leave me again. That was how the woman came home. He said since that day, the man has never said, what have you been doing to date. So at times, if women can do that to men, you don't have to leave. You don't have to. There are some things that you have to. There are some things that you have to do to just break that cycle.
That cycle,
You just
yes.
have to break that
Like
cycle,
he's
because it will become a roller coaster.
He's
Exactly.
giving. Let him see what he can
Let
do.
you know, if he's beating you and all that, leave. Living does not mean that you are divorcing the person. Living is that I want to run for my life. You know, go get my sanity back. You know, let
Yes,
him
you can even
enjoy.
get your
Let him enjoy
sanity
that. Enjoy that space, and let him enjoy that space. You leave. Go get yourself together. You know,
Come
because
back when you
yeah,
can.
you've been drained. Then go recharge. Go somewhere to recharge. Go somewhere to pray and just tell God what's going on. You know, that is a part of living that we are talking about. We are not saying we are not
You don't
saying
say
divorce. Live for you to get your sanity. Live to be that woman that God has.
Live so that you can have the sanity to pray right.
Right.
There are sometimes.
How can you pray in
There are
that
sometimes
toxic
you have
environment?
to go. You have to live finally. There are some decisions you don't have to take and live finally. It is not really optional, but there are some decisions that you have to take finally. When a man is beating you, that is causing you to have blood coming out, you have to leave it. because that person may die. And if he still wants to stay longer, because these kids will need us when they start marrying, and you want to stay there long, you have to take the hard blow. Until you see, there are some men, until they don't see you at all for a whole year, and they face that reality, and that thing touch them. Some of them will pretend as if they are not seeing what they are not being hit by anything. But when they really hit them, then their brain comes back. Because I can remember my sister knows my mom's friend. That woman, till she died, that cannot hear anybody. It was her husband. Because she just want to stay until the woman died. You have to be doing this to be telling a person that can hear before. And when she cannot hear is when she now leave the man. She waited until she was damaged.
Hey.
So that's why I said sometimes it's not that we don't want to stay, but when it comes to real beating, that you have been taken to the hospital, they brought you back, you take to the hospital, it's better the parents take that lady away from that family. That does not mean that you are doing something bad. It means that you need your life.
Yeah, that the man should go for anger management.
Yes.
Go for a course and let them tell you it's fine. Because I need you to talk to us. Talk to us about abuse. Anyone you can remember that you can tell us.
No, abuse is abuse, regardless of whatever type of abuse it is. Personally, it's one's choice. Are you willing to take care of yourself, or you are willing to endure and then accept the consequence? Unfortunately, the consequence will have a ripple effect. It's not just about you, because when you die, if you have kids, they are left alone. I mean, the family where you come from.
Then the man will get married to somebody
exactly,
that will be using pan to beat the kids on the head. Did I kill your mom?
So, I mean, your priorities is what is important. Is it about your life? Is it about your kids? Or is it that you want to die there? At the end of the day, nobody can make that decision for a woman. The woman has to make the decision. Again, it boils down to priorities. What is important to you? Is it your husband, or is it
Your life.
It's not an easy decision to make, to be honest.
It's
It is not an easy decision, but
until
it
actually
needs to be made.
the woman is sure she wants to live.
Yeah.
No matter what story you tell her, she will still have a reason
Correct.
for her to go.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
Until she herself sees
Correct.
that,
I mean, the first step to healing is for the person who is sick to accept that, listen, I am ill and I need to address my illness. Every other person can see the illness or the disease, but if you don't accept it for yourself, you would not take that bold step to say, okay, I'm going to seek medical attention, or I'm going to the pharmacy to get medication. Yeah, it's to be aware of yourself, your reality, to accept it and then make a decision going forward personally. And all this thing of whether the person will change or one thing, it's boils back to that person. So I'm not negating the effect of prayer. I'm not saying prayer doesn't work or it cannot work, but it starts with oneself.
within.
And somebody who is abusive today has the tendencies during courtship or dating, but because we are in love, we are blinded. The red flags are always there.
You will not tell me you didn't
We
know.
are
That's what I always
desperate
tell
for
people.
this relationship. We are
It
desperate
happens.
for this
It happens
marriage.
a lot.
Pardon?
I said it happens a lot.
as in the red flags will be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you are blind. Love has blind.
Yeah,
blind.
so we
Some people
refuse
don't-
to
it's
see,
not blood, it's not
accept
love,
the
oh. They
truth.
just want to leave their you know,
Yes.
we parents have a lot in our children's decision making, because some parents, the moment their
Yeah,
child
they're
is
married,
old, they
you are
will
old
just
enough.
before you
mates,
cough
anybody.
your mate is married, before you do this your mate is married, and so when they see those mistakes that they want to, you know, move
To
out,
go just to leave the parents' house.
they want to move out, but they will say no, I will correct it when I'm married. I just want to leave this mother so that she will stop talking about this to me.
But I think now it's changing. People are not so desperate anymore. There are a lot of single ladies that don't even want marriage anymore. They just want to have a child. They want to have a sperm donor. They don't even care who the guy is. They just want to have a child, and they are ready to take care of their kids. I think the mindset is changing in the world in itself. You know, it's not like before, where we are pressured into getting into the wrong marriages. And again, some of us are warned that, hey, don't go to that something.
Yeah.
But
And that is what
because
you want.
we are in love, we understand, we
Eyes
enter
are
it,
covered.
and
Love
then
blind their eye.
we get knocked.
Love blind their
And they will
eye.
be like, I for don't listen, oh.
They said love blind their eye.
Marriage
open
yeah, but
Yes.
you're already in it. And
And you get wrong.
again, the stigma of she's separated.
I know.
The stigma of she's divorced.
Mm.
The fear of where do I start
That is
again?
why their husband
You know,
drives you away.
everything just it's just terrible.
It depends
Well, how
on
do I
the
start?
way-
Which guy will look at
as,
me? It's
as
so
mommy have
many
said,
issues.
it is you that can heal yourself.
Yeah.
So when you are being beaten, and because you don't want people to say, oh, she divorced, or she's now single,
Yeah.
and you stay there, then whatever happens is your own cross that you want to carry.
Yeah, before you came, don't be angry, man. Pastor talked about a lady that died because
The parents took
parents took her back to the husband's house.
Yeah,
Oh, you know about it, right?
no,
You know about
I've heard something like that.
the man beat her. She's pregnant, 9 months pregnant. She ran to her parents, you know, for them to shield her, you know. At least she should have stayed there until baby comes, you know. The parents said, no, go back.
Go and beg.
Go and
Kneel
beg.
down and
My
beg the
sister
man.
knows Yashim.
With pregnancy.
Mhm.
That woman has 4 children. And the man will, as I said, if a man raised up his hand to me, please, I'm not going to stay the next day. That man will beat, he will
If I
beat
not
her
only
like
beat
this
her,
and take her
take
to
off
the
all the clothes
All
from
the
her body,
clothes.
make her naked.
naked.
I am
Yes.
the one that bought this one. I am the one. Remove her clothes.
Remove it.
Naked wife.
And
And
the
that
woman
night
will
he was
wake
just
up,
oh yeah, let's
and
do
the
after
woman will
the
wake
fight.
up the next day after beating, because it's the woman that is feeding the man, and the 4 children, she has to wake up the next day around 4.
To
She's
start cooking,
selling
she used to
food.
sell food, yes.
She will start cooking.
So she's
And when
she's
she
taking
put
care
the
of the
food
family.
outside,
Mm.
when she put the food outside,
Mhm.
and a man sit down eating, and the woman, maybe they're having a conversation and they're
well,
talking. In front of that man, the way he will beat the lady, when you come the next day to buy food, if the woman say good morning, you will not want to answer.
Hey,
And it's the man, as the woman is the one feeding, and the parents will come and say, hey, sorry, don't worry, it will change. Who will change?
so what happened to the woman? Is the woman still alive?
I think she's in London. I left the man.
She left
but
the man to marry someone
to
else.
marry someone else.
That was
But for
but she
long
had to get to
years
the stage that she was the one that wanted to go
Because-
and move to her parents'
yeah,
house.
because the last one, she was bleeding. When she decided, she was bleeding from the ear. And that is when she decided that, I'm not staying anymore.
So right now, Sister Bolani, please tell us how one can move. You know how, like for instance, this Yashin right now that left the husband to go start all over. You know, people like that, they need counseling, because the next relationship they are going into, the man, even no matter how nice the man is, no matter how good the man is, they'll first of all be comparing the person. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, it's normal.
It's
She needs to heal.
Heal.
She
that's the
needs,
right word.
not necessarily through counseling, but she needs to first of all realize that she needs to heal.
That's
She needs to,
That she's sick.
she needs to let go of the hurt
The
and
hurt.
the pain. She needs to acknowledge that there's a problem. Because I went through something similar. It took the grace of God for a friend of mine to bring it to my attention. And this, God used this person as in I would be shouting at this, was a male friend, like, leave me alone, I'm not angry. But you know, I had to come to a place of acceptance that, listen, this person is telling you the truth, you know. And I began to allow God. I'm still a work in progress, because I cannot say I'm perfect. You know, I needed to accept that, yeah, there's a problem, and I need to allow God to heal me from the depth. I mean, it got so bad to such an extent that I was watching a movie one day, and I saw it. It was a Nigerian movie. It was a scene where the guy was, you know, abusing the woman, and I was so angry in my spirit. And God ministered to me that, Bonale, you still have issues. If this thing can trigger you, then you still have issues. You still need to deal with this thing. You need to pray about it. And slowly but surely, you know, God has, I believe God has walked me through. You know, when I get triggers, I know, okay, there's a problem somewhere. I need to address this, you know. And definitely it's going to impact the next relationship. Definitely. It's not a walk in the park. You cannot, even with our kids, because you are used to one child doing something this way, you expect that the other child is probably also doing things that way. You know, we are shaped by our environment and the people we relate with. So it is going to impact the next relationship. It takes the grace of God for that person, for the new person, to accept this person in her totality and help her walk through it. Because she's not going to come as a perfect person. She's going to come, quote and unquote, as a damaged,
wounded.
Exactly.
Wounded.
You understand? So it takes the grace of God for the other person to identify it and walk through.
Okay. So if I may get to, because of our audience and all that, so if I may get it correct, that means the woman, if you are going into another relationship, you need to let the person know.
Yes.
The person needs to know.
Yeah,
where you are coming from.
So the person can work with you.
Yeah.
Before you can even get into a relationship first, it's not like you're just going to go and say, okay, oh, this is me, oh, this is my background, oh, this is where I'm coming from. No, it comes from friendship.
Yes.
When you talk about your experiences, you get to
Your
know
past.
each other. That way, you are each able to assess, can I work with this person? Or before you even say, okay, I'm going head on into a relationship, it starts with friendship. You don't just see somebody and say, okay, from today we are dating. No.
But you know some people, they are very secretive, that even you can be friends with them for like years and years, you might not even know what they are going through. You know, so that means you are trying to say that if you are going into another relationship, even if you start from friendship and all that, you have to be an open book. You have to let the person know.
Because if the person doesn't know what you have gone through,
Except you don't trust the person enough. I mean, and if you don't trust the person, then you can't be in a relationship. Because if you trust, if you see this person as a potential suitor or somebody you want to date, you should open up to a certain extent. But it's not everyone, again, that is spiritually matured enough to receive everything. You have to do it step by step, you know.
First thing I think is that when one finds oneself in such a relationship, bless you, and you are out of it, maybe God will really snatch you out by death. Because sometimes God will look at this girl and this boy and say, yeah, this one punishment is much. He takes the other one away. First thing is, if you are not born again for the benefit of audience, you need to go to Christ, get born again, become somebody else, die and live. You know, I've been crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ live in me. So you have to first of all get to that stage, that now is Christ that live in you. In that situation, relationship is not going to be trial by error anymore. It's going to be, what is God saying?
Absolutely.
So if God says this is the next one that you are going into, then, like my sister said, bit by bit you have to tell. Because if there's a secret anytime, it can trigger something that shouldn't be. So once you let them know, this is where I've been to. So in case you see me reacting somehow, just like a guy, a man that usually abuse the wife physically, verbally, call her names, call her stuff. So when she's out of that kind of relationship, it might not even be husband and wife, could be friendship, just two girls being friends. I'm not talking about bad friendship. I'm talking about regular, normal, and you stop. You have to be able to realize there's a problem, and your state of mind has to be stable before you go into another one. Because the moment you get disappointed by one person, you will realize that you start watching everybody. Maybe this is like that, that is like that. And it takes now knowing you can trust this one, knowing you can trust this one, that will make you go into that again. So you've given your life to Christ, you have a relationship. That doesn't mean that it is a must do. Because some people, if they hear your story, they want to run. So if he will run, let him run. Don't get into, like somebody said, oh, what if I tell him I had a baby before?
He has to know.
He has to know.
The one they always stay. They will be like,
Correct.
you and your child, I will marry all of you together.
Correct.
Yes.
So it's better you tell the person before you go neck deep
Let
in it.
into it. Then you will be like, then they will be saying, oh, this marriage was
Like 3 months ago, there was a wedding that they did in Nigeria. I don't know what part of Nigeria. The man never knew that the woman has 3 children. It was on the altar.
Up to 3.
3 children. It was on the altar that the kids were crying. One of them was crying, and he asked, you know how kids does things. And run. I said, mommy. Be first now, I'm hungry.
To me that is
and the man was asking,
Mm-hmm. That is deceit right there.
Who is it calling from? He said, I'm sorry. I don't know.
That is deceit.
I know.
I have to, and the man just leave.
Yes.
Fainted like that. They have to take the man to just. So we have to.
In the courtship,
Yeah,
what were they
deception.
talking about? That is the question I was.
Deception.
What were they talking about?
They
I
don't
love
ask
that.
questions.
How long
They
did
don't
they? How long did they
No,
cut?
there are some people that they really ask questions. What did some ladies do is that they will pack the children and give it to one of their sisters. And then maybe when the man is there and the kids, they say, it's my sister's children, and they call me, and they call me
A
my
marriage like that can be annoyed. And
Anytime
so
can be
it was
annoyed.
never
Yes.
done.
Yes.
You have never been married before.
Yes, can
It's
be
biblical,
annoyed.
so that's fine.
So we have
You can't
to,
trust that woman.
Never.
Yeah.
I will not even advise that man to marry that kind
I
of
won't.
person.
I won't.
because you don't know which other lies are
Exactly.
still lies.
Any
or-
marriage based on lies, forget it. Just
we have
because
to-
the man will always, the man's mind or the woman's mind will never be there 100%. Or you hid something like this away from me, and it is very important to you had a baby before, or no, so you have a baby, not had a baby. You don't have to tell the person that you had a baby before. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That is maybe you had an abortion or you did whatever in your past. The new person does not have to know that. But if you have a living child, you know what I mean? Or does the person have to know that you had whatever?
It's your decision.
It's your
That
decision.
one
But
is
engage it out by the person's level
If
of
you,
maturity.
yeah, if you
Because,
have,
uh,
that is a serious one. If you if you've had abortions,
Yes.
especially that has affected
Your
you,
womb.
that you might,
Or
maybe
whatever.
they have told you, maybe you will not be able to have a child,
Or you have
or
to take
maybe your
person.
womb,
You have to
of
take
course,
person.
that is still,
Deceit.
it is still into the future.
Right.
He has to know.
Right.
To know whether he wants to go into that
Yeah, but there are
relationship
some,
or
you know,
not.
there are some ladies that their womb is very fragile. That when they are pregnant, sometimes they have an abortion. And the doctor told them that, you know, the man have to know, the new man you are going into must know. Why? Because there are some men that does not know how to take care of a pregnant woman. And when you start having an abortion, then it's another problem with the husband's family. But if the man knew your state of
Your
health
history.
and your history, then both of you can work out that thing together.
Yeah, it's very
If he has to
important.
be in the hospital at the time you are pregnant, so he will know, so that those things will be guided out. So people they will be conscious of
Right.
it.
And again, we have to use wisdom. If you know that what you did in the past will not affect your future, let it stay in the past. You understand what I mean? Like for instance, you had an abortion and the doctor said you have this, like there's a clause in whatever that you did before, you have to let the person know. Anything that you know will affect the future. But if you've had abortion before that, you know that this was just a mistake, God, whatever, you don't have to tell the person.
Yeah, that
Well,
one is-
well,
that one is-
let me just put it this way. It is very, very, very good that as much as you can tell,
you can
Do
open
it,
up.
exactly.
you can tell.
Right.
You know, like especially we Christian, our Christian brothers, they always believe that, oh, because they see you in church, you are a virgin. There's a sister that I think I watched the movie who had 7 suitors. He had not slept with any of them. She had not.
Okay.
She was still a virgin.
Okay.
But it had happened in the Christendom, sisters around knew. The brother, she thought, it is in my past. Why should I tell him? He doesn't need to know.
So she did not sleep with those 7 suitors.
No.
But just that, at least she has dated like 7 men.
Yeah. And then somebody went to tell the guy. And the guy was like, how come you didn't tell me? How do I know now that you didn't sleep with them?
So the brother one try before this.
He didn't want to. I said, it's not doing again.
He
So
wasn't
after,
the one.
yes,
That is just-
later I came back and begged and married the lady and realized that the fact that you had relationships doesn't mean.
You should do
And
that.
like me, I got born again after marriage. So I had relationships. But because me and my husband, usually my boyfriend, before we became fiancés, we were not born again. We used to talk. We'll talk about his own, I talk about my own. He tell me one, I tell him 2. When he tell me 2, I tell him 4, because me, he was a gentle, quiet guy. But me, I was not a loose girl. But I was one trouble girl. I go to party, I do this one. That's why all those things don't enter my head anymore. So I've told him 99.9 or less the ones I didn't remember about myself. After marriage, I had a friend that knew everything. She got angry with me and knew I was not home, went to my husband and told my husband everything. This one is not somebody, I'm talking about me now. Every single thing I had ever told her. And my husband said, everything you have said,
She has told me.
she has told me. I have heard about it before. But the only one I've not heard about is that you said she's the one that told your husband that you are going out with somebody. If she did it, she would have told me. That's the only one I've never had before. The woman was angry because she thought she
thought she has destroyed things.
Yes. And my husband listened to her and said, everything you have said, I've heard before. That is why on cool and normal level headed person, you can tell them.
That's what I say, matured person.
Matured.
That can understand.
But if he's not going to understand, he's not the one.
He's not the one.
Yeah,
He's
it's
not the one.
It's true because
And again, any
Even
man,
if it's
sorry,
mature.
mommy, sorry. And again, any, like for instance, maybe your tutor to be or whatever. If they always want to hear about your own story, they don't have any story
To
run.
run, yes.
Because how come I'm doing what?
You
You
did never had a past.
As quiet as daddy is, you said daddy will tell you and you will tell him too. At least both of you were
We
talking.
were talking now. He will tell me when you start, you will say, "Oh, I remember when," and then I will laugh and say, "Oh, we went to the same."
there is
Investing.
there is this thing that happened within among my brethren. One sister got married. One of my brother just
Auntie,
got
chicken one.
married to a sister.
Ah,
The sister is
pastor.
so
We can go and buy
dedicated in
chicken
the
on
Lord.
our way.
So she
Yes,
married her, you know, and they dated for a few months before they got married. And she says, they reborn again Christian, you know. But during, after the
Mommy,
marriage,
sorry, ma.
no, not yet.
Pastor.
So after the marriage, the sister did not open up to tell the husband anything.
Anything.
So what she did, according to the brother was the one that came to me and was seeking my counsel to tell him what to do because he's confused. I think they had lived for 2 years. After that 2 years, he came one day. He asked me when I would be home. I told him he came to my house. I said, Mom is sick. I need your advice because I don't know what to do. I am running mad. I'm crazy. I said, what's happening? He said, the wife. That day, because I attended their wedding. That day after their wedding, they came home, moved everything and nothing. And she now told him to wait, that she is praying. She needs to be with the Lord. Her agreement with God after a week before he will touch her. He accepted. And 1 week passed. Why to touch her? She said, wait again. Another week, 2 weeks. Then he was, worried and he said, okay. And they started living as husband and wife. 1 month passed, no issue. 2 months, 3, 4, 5. I say, I was listening because my focus was because she has not conceived. I think that was his problem. But that is not the reason. And that was what I was waiting to hear from him in order to start to
What to
advise
say.
what to say. So, but unfortunately, what he now told me was that the wife, after a year, then they called her and said, we should go to. In fact, the wife started accusing him of not being a man, that she couldn't
Impregnate her.
so that they need to go and see. So the brother to that wife is a gynecologist. So they went to meet the brother. So the brother now took the man and went for series of tests and told the man that he's impotent. He has problem. Then the man was still what he advised him, told him all that he should be doing. Because that is brother, that is a medical doctor, knew that the sister cannot get married, cannot get pregnant. She never see her message. She has never seen her messages. So
since she was born.
since she was born.
Oh, so that is deceit.
So, and she didn't tell the man.
Oh my gosh.
So this thing started. So the man was doing everything, taking the medication, doing everything the doctor was. That year passed, the second year. He said we should, that is, then the husband told me that he now called the wife and said, see, let's go again and let your brother, every time we go, he gives us appointment. He never examine you. I have done everything he told me to do. And I'm doing it religiously, but nothing is happening.
Oh, so she connived with her own brother.
But our brother knew,
They
so
knew.
they knew from the family.
So
they are just
they now,
trying to
he
keep
now,
this
the
back.
brother, that brother now called me and said, "Mom, I want us to go to another law. Then can you tell my wife, let's try another guy." So the wife got angry the day he mentioned. I said, tell you, I told him to tell your wife. Then the wife got angry. I was so furious. Who is that? So I will go and tell my brother, you don't regard him. Okay, go to I said, no. He started begging her. I said, okay, let's try again. But your brother has never examined you and tested you, you know. Let's go to another place so that they will test both of us. So that he said, okay. And they will go. The moment they get to any guy, what the wife does is that he will never allow both of us to go together to see the gynecologist. She will tell her to wait. That when after he will now see you. So she will go to see the gynecologist.
Won't tell her the lies.
He will not allow the husband to know anything. That when she comes back, he said, okay, it's your turn, you will go too. So he will go. And he will open up, bring the paper, tell her everything the doctor said. That the doctor examined me, they check this, they said that I'm okay. What did he say? He said, nothing is wrong with me. You know, you are the only one. But the doctor now said I'm okay. Okay, we will go to your brother again to see if those things he said is happening to me, if I'm okay now. And I will show your brother the gynecologist report. They went to the brother, and the wife said, wait, I want to go and see my brother. So he didn't want both of them to see the brother. And he narrated everything that happened. The brother was, why do you allow him to go to another thing? In fact, they discussed whatever they discussed. And they came back. They said, what is it? They said you had the doctor, you went to see another doctor. You don't, he said, no, but I'm worried. I want to join, and every time you treated us without charging us anything. So I want to see another doctor so that this is the report of the doctor. Everything, span count, everything complete. There's nothing wrong with him. He said, yes, it's because of the medication you are going, you'll be fine, things will be all right, there is no problem, you can go. He wasn't happy. He said, he didn't examine you the way he examined you. So he said, what do you want him to examine me? Is there anything wrong with me? So they went to back home. He started checking this. What is happening? You are not pregnant and you don't see your menses. I called him and said, do you know what to do? Tell her that I want to see her. So she came. He said, Mommy, I said, I know your brother is a gynecologist. But my landlord is a gynecologist, and I know him very well. I want you and your husband to go and see the gynecologist. So that I have been praying, fasting, asking God to bless you with the fruit of the womb. Because I have been, I've been fasting for you, I've been praying for you. So we want to know exactly what the problem is so that we will tackle that problem exactly. So we believe, even if you cannot get, God creates womb. There's nothing God cannot do. I believe that. So, but let us know we have to channel the prayer point. So she said, okay, Mom, she didn't tell the husband. A month passed, 2, 3. It was the 3rd year. I said, okay, they know none of them comes again. I said, okay. Then the husband came one day and started telling me, saying, this thing is just too much. that every time they go to see a doctor, the wife will not allow him to go with her to hear what the doctor said till the day I told the man, I said, tell her that we should go, two of you should go to that gynecologist I told you, my landlord. She now called her and said, Mom, he said we should go to see the doctor, so and so. He said, what for? He said, she said, we must see that doctor. Let's go. You know what people are saying. And Mom has been praying, fasting for us. At least for her sake, just let us go. She said, she was, she didn't want to go till he succeeded and persuaded both of them should go. So they went. When they came to, I told the man that the moment the doctor tests him, when the wife tests him to stay, that he should not stay. He must go with her. That I know the doctor, how he behaves. When you call, he say, where is your husband? So you better go with her. He said, okay. The wife didn't know that I told him. So when the doctor called her, she said, she took her, where are you going? He said, I want to go and urinate. Let me go. Are you going to? It is the doctor's office. Let's go together to the doctor's office. He said, okay. He followed her to the doctor's. And the doctor said, haven't you seen any doctors? He said, I've seen a doctor. Where is the report? He said, I'm sorry, I didn't take it. I'm sending you to the test. He called the nurse. Didn't have to test immediately. They tested her. She has no womb. So she never see menses. She has no womb at all.
Like, as in, she had no womb from
from
beginning.
I think
from
from
her
birth.
child,
I think yes. She has no womb. She has never seen her menses since she was born. Not matter of pain, abortion. No, she has no womb. That is it. But she didn't tell her husband, and she knew. The brothers, the sisters, every member of their family knew about that. So, and they didn't want to tell the husband to know. Then, the doctor instructed them to go for a test, both of them. They went immediately. The test result was brought to the doctor. And she wanted the husband to go away. So the husband said no. That mommy said we two of us should be there and hear what the doctor will say. And the moment the doctor looked at the reports, and both of them, the doctor talked to the woman. How dare you? How dare you drag this man to this place? How dare you drag this man to this place? Why are you a witch? Why didn't you tell you? Don't you know you don't have womb? Have you ever seen your menses before since you were born? And you knew you don't have womb. And you didn't tell your husband. She burst into, she started crying.
Poor man, taking all this medication.
Then she told the what? Come on, get out of my house. Get out. She called the nurse. Said, come and drive her out of this place. They left with shame. And the moment they got to, she ran to her brother and started narrating the story to her brother. She refused to come home again to the husband. Then after 2 days, she came up. The husband came to me and started telling me what it really in fact, I stopped praying for them. I was wounded. I said, why will she do this type of thing?
When they were having courtship, didn't they talk? That is
Why will she do
The talk, that is
She
if she opens
hid
up.
it. She hid it.
Because this is very
Wicked.
I understand.
Very wicked. I said, okay, if she had opened up and tell the husband will burst into care because it looks like the husband is about the only son, the only child of the parent. So they need a child. I would have advised them to adopt. That is what I will do. We should immediately I will even put my money, go and adopt. I make sure I help them to adopt a child.
And she
At
should
least
have,
even 2 children.
and she should have told the man, if the man want to stay, the man will stay. The one
So,
will stay.
So
The
when
man does
I-
not have
God
to
is able
confirm.
to do all
God is
things.
able.
Mhm.
So when I was now telling them, scolding them, they said, I said the brothers and your sister, they didn't do well. They would have helped you. They are in position to help you to adopt a child, and they should have called your husband and tell him. I said,
So they want the man to take medication for like 10 years or what?
I don't know. In fact, so in fact, the marriage, I said, look, there is nothing. I called the brother. I said, see, there is nothing you can do about it. You are not going to go to court to divorce her. Leave her, go and marry. That's all. I told her, go. I told him to go and marry. Yes. How can you trust that? How can you? In fact, so he went and married. He went and married.
Because that is deceit. So he has the right to, but at least a pastor should annoy the marriage. Or you can go and marry without it. I don't understand.
No, you can't marry without. But it's a wrong marriage.
In Africa,
If
you
can
are
marry
entitled to marry 100 wives.
No, if you get married in the court of law, you can't marry another
Okay,
person
in the
unless
court
it
of
is
law.
allowed.
But they don't marry in court now.
Oh, they didn't marry.
Because
Okay.
Nobody marries in court in Nigeria. How many
we
people
marry
marry?
in court too. Even
I
if you
married
go
in
to
court.
church,
My mom.
even if you are marrying in church, you go to
You
court
have to go
first.
to court first.
No, not to.
Me, I married in court.
Not all churches does that.
And that was what helped me when we won visa lottery. That was the first thing they asked. Court this thing. And
So-
my husband said we should go. I was just like, I
But
just,
in our church, you have to go to court too. You
Before.
bring,
Methodist church,
yeah, in
you have
Methodist
to go-
church, you
you
will
have to
bring
go.
the
even Catholic, thank God for
something
Catholic.
from
From
court
the court.
for them to
To
sign.
sign.
When they sign, then you take it back
Back.
to court.
To the court.
In my church in Nigeria, you don't go to court.
You know, churches they not licensed to officiate marriages.
They
Yeah,
are.
you
Yeah,
have
but
to-
you
you
have to get married in court.
In court.
In court.
Yes.
So that it
in
will
Nigeria,
be in the whatever
In
they
the
are,
states,
something.
marriage
In case somebody will say they want to marry again, they can trace it in court that you
You are
married.
But you were
before.
once married.
So,
that
so
is it.
if she had told him, and the Lord have told them to get married, the Lord will do what He
I'm
only He
telling
can
you.
do.
And it's not our fault.
Yeah,
It's
that
not
is why it would have been better she had
It's not
told
our
the
fault.
truth.
And instead of the parents keeping that kind of a thing, it's something that they
They
will
can-
have open up.
Yes,
They
and
will have-
pray.
They will have pray about
You know
it
that-
before getting to marriage.
You know that this boy is the only son. They need the family needs a child.
It's not even the family, mommy. He needs a child, not the family.
He needs a
They are
child.
not
The family
planning
needs
of
a
making
child.
an
But
adoptive.
God can do all things.
All
Yes.
things.
If God is the one that has led him to her, and everything is the truth,
Yes.
God will know how to settle it.
Yeah.
But the way she did it was wrong.
Deceit.
Time. Any question before we
We have
go? So,
15 minutes more. Abi?
do you have anything you still want
Just
to
leave
say?
it 10 minutes.
So let us pray. We pray, we thank God. Let's for the gathering today. Before we pray, brethren, we have been discussing about different kind of abuse, especially physical. If you find yourself in any form of abuse, seek help before it goes beyond anything. Because if you seek help in the case of any abuse early, marriage can be saved.
Yes.
If you seek help early, the man slap you first time, look for somebody to make sure it doesn't happen again. God help you, God bless you, God keep your home, and I pray for your homes to be heaven on earth,